The outcast. Dark space. Silent. Cold. A small escape pod floated near a dying red star. It moved slowly, like a lost leaf in a giant ocean. Inside the pod, a young alien girl opened her eyes. Her name was Zara. Her skin was pale blue. Her eyes glowed softly in the dark. A long metal line ran down her back, part of her cybernetic spine. Sparked, weak and broken. She tried to move. Pain. Her body didn't listen. Her hands shook. Her breathing was slow. She looked around. Empty pod. No lights. No voices. Only the soft hum of a weak engine. They left me, she whispered. Her own people had done this. They said she was broken. Useless. A failure. Her spine implant had stopped working correctly, and instead of fixing her, they threw her away. Perfection or death. That's what her race believed. There was no place for weakness. No place for someone like Zara. She tried to remember how long she had been floating in space. 1 day, 10, 100. Time didn't matter anymore. Her body was weak. Her spirit weaker. But just before giving up, she reached for the emergency signal. A small light blinked, then blinked again. The signal was now going out, over and over. Help. Alone. Please. Help. Alone. Please. Far away, deep inside a human space station called Echelon, a man named Kai heard the signal. He was an engineer. Human. Tired eyes, rough hands. He sat alone in the signal room, drinking cold coffee. He worked night shifts, mostly fixing broken drones and cleaning dust filters. But tonight, he saw something strange on the screen. An unknown signal. Weak. Repeating. Help. Alone. Please. Kai leaned forward. The voice sounded soft. Scared. Almost human. But the language wasn't human. He ran the signal through a translator. It worked a little. Enough to understand the meaning. I am not dangerous. I am just alone. Kai frowned. No ship was supposed to be near this sector. It was dead space. Empty and quiet. He looked around. No one else was in the room. It was against protocol to answer strange signals. But something pulled at him. A gut feeling. He opened the signal channel. This is Echelon Station. Identify yourself. No answer. Then a pause. Then just one soft word. Please. His heart skipped. He stood up and opened the star map. A tiny red dot blinked. The signal's location. Just outside the station range. He grabbed his coat. Meanwhile, inside the pod, Zara's body shook with cold. Her vision was fading. She didn't know if her message had reached anyone. She didn't believe anyone would come. Her race had taught her that kindness was weakness. Mercy was failure. If you were broken, you were thrown away. She had no reason to trust. No reason to hope. But, just as her eyes were closing, a strange sound appeared outside the pod. A light. Movement. Zara blinked. Something was outside. Someone. The pod door creaked open. Bright white light poured in. She raised her hand to block it, weak and afraid. Then a figure stepped inside. A human. He had short dark hair, a gentle face, and a strange look in his eyes. Shock, curiosity, and care? It was Kai. He looked at her. She looked back. Neither moved. Seconds passed. Zara tried to speak but only coughed. Kai stepped forward slowly. He raised both hands to show he had no weapon. It's okay, he said softly. I won't hurt you. Zara didn't understand the words, but something in his voice felt safe. Then her body gave out. She collapsed. Kai rushed forward, catching her before she hit the floor. Her skin was ice cold. Her metal spine flickered. He looked at her. She wasn't like anything he'd seen. Alien, yes, but not dangerous. Just broken. Hurt. He didn't know her story. Not yet. But something told him this wasn't just any alien. She had been left to die. And now her life was in his hands. He carried her back to his shuttle. Carefully. Quietly. He knew the station wouldn't approve. He didn't care. He looked at her one last time as she slept under a blanket. Who are you? He whispered. But she didn't answer. She just breathed softly. Alone. But not for long. Darkness again. But this time not in space. In her mind. Zara heard voices. Not sharp. Not angry. Just soft. She didn't understand the words. But they didn't sound like orders. Not like the council. They sounded kind. Suddenly, a sharp beep. She opened her eyes. White light. The ceiling. Not her pod. Not her world. She sat up too fast. Pain shot through her back. Her cybernetic spine sparked, and she cried out. Easy, a voice said. Calm. Gentle. She turned her head. There he was. The human. Kai. He stood a few steps away, holding a strange object. A glowing tablet. He didn't move closer. Just watched like someone watching a wild bird in pain. Zara backed into the corner of the small room. She didn't trust him. Why would she? Everyone she had ever known had either feared her or thrown her away. Her legs shook. Her spine glitched. You're safe, Kai said again. Do you understand? She didn't, but something in his tone made her stop running. Hours passed. Kai tried everything. Gestures. Pictures. Simple symbols. Zara didn't respond. Not because she didn't want to, but because she didn't know how. No one had ever spoken to her like this. Not with patience. Not with kindness. He brought food. She didn't eat. He brought a translator device. She stared at it. He drew a circle. She drew a square. Then, after many failed tries, he drew a stick figure. He pointed to himself. Kai! Zara blinked, then slowly lifted the pen. She drew a figure slightly taller, thinner, with a metal line on the back. She pointed to it. Zara. Their first connection. 2 shapes. 2 names. And silence filled with meaning. Later that night, Zara sat alone in the medical room. She looked out the window. Earth. She had never seen a planet like it. So full of color. So full of movement. Even from this space station, it felt alive. Her people had always called humans primitive, weak, emotional. But the only one who had shown her mercy was a human. Why? She touched her spine. Still broken. Still glitching. She knew she was not fixed. Not perfect. Not useful. Then why did he help? She closed her eyes. A question stayed in her heart. What does he want from me? Meanwhile, Kai sat at his desk, eyes on the security camera feed. He watched Zara staring out the window. She's not like the others, he whispered to himself. He remembered the warning from command. Do not bring unknown life forms on board. Report and wait for orders. But he didn't, because something about her eyes, her silence, her fear, reminded him of someone. His little sister. Gone now. She had been born with a condition. Weak spine. People had looked at her like a burden. But Kai had loved her deeply. She had taught him something no textbook ever could. The strength of a heart that keeps going, even when the body can't. Zara had that same look. That same fight in her silence. The next day, Zara followed him into the main lab. Her steps were slow, unsure. But they were steps. Kai smiled. You're stronger than you look. She didn't understand the words. But she understood the tone. She walked beside him. Looked at the machines. The lights. The human tech. And then she touched a broken drone. Her fingers moved carefully. Almost like she had done this before. Kai watched, shocked. You know machines? Zara didn't reply. But the way her fingers adjusted the wires, he got his answer. She was more than just a discarded alien. She was a builder. Fixer. Like him. Just as the moment softened, the screen near them blinked. New incoming signal. Unknown origin. Kai opened it. A voice, cold and mechanical, spoke through. This is a warning. Return the subject. She is property of the council. Failure to comply will result in elimination. Zara froze. She knew that voice. The council had found her. Her breath quickened. She backed away, eyes wide. Kai looked at her, then back at the screen. Property? No, she's not. Zara looked at him. She didn't understand the words. But she saw something in his face. He wasn't going to give her back. Not to them. Not ever. She dreamed of falling. Endless falling. No sky. No ground. Just wind. And silence. And then a hand. Warm. Human. Reaching for hers. Zara woke up, gasping. She looked around, heart racing. She was still on the space station. Still alive. Still with him. Kai. She sat up slowly, feeling her metal spine buzz weakly. She remembered the warning. Return the subject, or be destroyed. The council had found her. That voice was real. She was in danger again. But this time, she wasn't alone. Kai stood just outside the door. He hadn't slept. His eyes were fixed on the message screen. He replayed the alien voice again. Return the subject. She is property of the council. Property? No. He didn't care who they were. No one had the right to call someone property. He looked back at Zara through the window. She wasn't just some alien. She was scared, hurt, alone, and still trying to stand. That meant something. Later, in the lab, Kai placed 2 cups on the table. One for himself, one for her. Zara entered, quiet but curious. He smiled and tapped the table. Sit. She didn't understand the word, but she understood the gesture. Slowly, she sat. He handed her a warm drink. She sniffed it, then took a small sip. Her eyes widened. Sweet, hot, strange. Kai laughed softly. Hot chocolate. First time. She didn't reply, but her hands didn't shake anymore. Then he brought out something new. A learning tablet. One side showed pictures. The other side had simple words in both English and her language. He pointed to an image. A star. Star. She blinked. Whispered. Star. Next image, a hand. Hand. Zara raised hers slowly. He did too. Their fingers touched for half a second. Hand, she said again. A small smile. Her first one. That moment, small, quiet, was the first step. Over the next few days, something changed. Zara started to walk more, explore more, speak a little. She used short words. Pointed. Drew. Kai showed her how machines on the station worked. She listened, watched, repaired a broken panel on her own. You're a quick learner, he said. Zara tilted her head, then smiled. Fix, she said, pointing to the panel. Fix, good. Kai laughed. Yes, very good. Each day, trust grew. A little more. But Zara still had questions she couldn't ask. Why was he helping her? What did he want? One evening, as they sat watching Earth through the window, she finally tried. She tapped his arm. Why? Help me. Kai looked surprised. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said softly, because someone once helped me, when no one else would. Zara didn't understand every word, but she saw his eyes. Pain, loss, memory, like hers. Different stories. Same hurt, same hope. Later that night, a red warning flashed on the system. Incoming ship detected. Unknown origin. Kai's face went cold. Zara looked up. Her spine sparked again. Her hands trembled. Council, she whispered. Kai turned to her. We'll figure it out, he said. I won't let them take you. She stared at him. You, stay. He nodded. I stay. It wasn't just words. She felt the truth in them. For the first time in her life, someone had chosen to stand beside her. They watched her through 1,000 cold eyes. Far away, in a dark chamber floating above a dead moon, the Council of Perfection stood in silence. Their faces were hidden behind silver masks, their minds linked by thought. One voice spoke for all. The broken one still lives. A screen in the center of the chamber showed her face. Zara. Alive. Smiling. With a human. Unforgivable. Back on Echelon Station, Zara was laughing for the first time. She sat on the floor, trying to control a small floating drone. It zigzagged through the air, bouncing into walls. Kai watched from the doorway, arms crossed, smiling. Too fast for you, huh? Zara looked at him and grinned. Fix more. Make faster. He chuckled. You're already better at this than me. The bond between them had grown strong. She spoke more each day, ate more, walked better. Her spine still sparked, but it didn't control her anymore. For the first time, she felt free. But freedom has a cost. Warning lights flashed. The main screen blinked red. A ship had entered the sector. No ID. No answer. Kai rushed to the console. Zara followed. He scanned the ship. "That's not from Earth," he said. "It's them, isn't it?" Zara didn't speak. She didn't have to. Her hands clenched. Her eyes darkened. "They come now," she whispered. "They come for me." Kai looked at her. "Then we don't let them win." On the alien ship, a voice spoke into the cold air. "Target located. Human interference confirmed. Prepare retrieval. And erase the station if needed." A machine soldier powered up. Tall, silver, with no face. Carried no weapon, its body was the weapon. They didn't come to talk. They came to take. Back on the station, Kai and Zara stood in front of a table, covered in wires, tools, and blueprints. "They'll be here in hours," Kai said. "We need to trick them." Zara nodded. Her fingers moved fast over a screen. She was rewriting old code, repurposing human tech to make something new. She didn't look like the scared girl in the pod anymore. She looked like an engineer, a fighter. "Fake signal," she said. "They think I leave. They follow signal." Kai nodded. "You're brilliant." Zara smiled, then paused. "You scared?" Kai looked at her. "Yeah, but I'm more scared of losing you." She blinked. No one had ever said that to her. Ever. Hours passed. The plan was ready. A fake shuttle sent out a signal, pretending to carry Zara. The real Zara stayed hidden in a locked room, surrounded by metal shielding. The alien ship followed the fake. It worked. For now. But just as Kai began to relax, everything went dark. Power loss. Emergency lights only. Then, a heavy thud echoed through the station. Zara stood up, heart racing. "They hear." Kai grabbed a tool, a metal rod. It wasn't much, but it was all he had. "Stay behind me." The door hissed. Smoke filled the hallway. From the shadows, a tall machine stepped forward. Silent. Smooth. Deadly. Zara froze. She had seen them before. They weren't just guards. They were executioners. Kai raised the rod. The machine ignored him. Its eyes locked on Zara. "Return. Or be neutralized." Zara stepped forward. "No," she said. "I am not yours." The machine raised an arm. Energy charged in its hand. Zara didn't move. But Kai did. He threw the rod, it hit the machine's core. Sparks flew. "Run!" he shouted. Zara hesitated. Then she turned and ran. As she did, the machine turned back to Kai, and the screen faded to black. She had always run. Ran when her body broke. Ran when the council called her a defect. Ran when they threw her away into space. Ran when the machine came for her. But this time, she stopped. Zara stood in the dark hallway, breathing hard. Sparks from the wall lit her face. Behind her, metal doors closed tight. She looked down at her shaking hands. Her cybernetic spine flickered like a dying star. Kai was still inside, and she had left him. Inside the control room, Kai lay on the floor, blood on his head, breathing shallow. The machine had not finished him off. It was still searching. Quiet. Cold. Kai whispered through a cracked comm device. "Zara, if you hear me, don't come back. Hide. Be free." His voice was weak, but clear. Zara heard every word. And for the first time in her life, she refused. She limped into the workshop. Her hands moved quickly now. She opened the old blueprints, grabbed tools, cut wires, modified her spine's interface. No fear, no doubt. "Run no more," she said softly. "Fix me. For him." The final spark lit up her back, this time not with pain, but with power. Her eyes glowed brighter. Flashback. She remembered being on the council ship as a child, standing before the judges. Her spine had glitched during a test. The elders looked down at her. "You will never stand with warriors. You will crawl with the weak." Those words lived in her mind for years. But now, in this moment, she whispered, "I stand with human." Minutes later, The doors of the lab slid open. Smoke, fire, silence. The machine turned. Zara stepped forward, her back sparking with energy. No fear. You come for broken? She said, voice steady. I'm not broken now. She raised her arm. A pulse device on her wrist hummed, a weapon she and Kai built together. She fired. The machine dodged. She moved fast. Not perfect, not smooth, but enough. They fought. Sparks flew. Metal clashed. Zara fell once. Got up again. Her spine surged with light. She screamed. A scream not of pain, but of freedom. Then one final blast. The machine's chest exploded. It fell. Silent. She dropped the weapon. Ran to Kai. He was awake barely. He looked at her. You came back. She held his hand. You stand for me. Now I stand for you. Kai smiled, eyes wet. You didn't have to. Zara nodded. Yes, I choose. Later, alarms went off across the station. The council ship was still outside. Zara knew they'd send more, but she didn't want to run anymore. We fake my death, she said. We make them think I'm gone. Kai looked at her. You sure? Zara looked out the window at Earth, then back at him. They threw me away, but you helped me build myself again. She smiled softly. Now I choose who I am. That night, the station sent out one final signal. It showed an explosion, a broken signal. No survivors. The council watched it expressionless. Subject lost, one said. Erase and move on. They turned away. Zara was dead to them now, and that was exactly what she wanted. But far below, in a hidden section of the station, Zara stood beside Kai wearing a new cloak. Not hiding anymore, just becoming something new. You're free now, Kai said. She nodded. Yes, but not alone. They looked down at Earth. The next chapter waited, and for once she was ready to walk into it, standing tall. The first weapon she ever held was a lie. It wasn't metal. It wasn't fire. It was a name. Defect. The council gave it to her when she was 5. They carved it into her record, whispered it behind her, then used it to bury her. But now, as she stood inside a dark hangar of Echelon Station, that word meant nothing. Zara had built something stronger. Herself. Weeks passed. The council believed she was dead. Their ship had left. But Kai and Zara knew the truth. They would return. They always do. This time, the two were ready. Inside a sealed lab, wires sparked. Lights blinked. New systems came alive. Zara stood at the center of it all, arms covered in grease, her cybernetic spine now glowing steady. Not broken anymore, but fully synced with the station's AI. Kai walked in holding a datapad. You're really turning this place into a fortress, he said. Zara looked up and smiled. No fortress, she replied. A heart with armor. He blinked, impressed by her words. She had learned fast, spoke more now. Not just language, emotion. Together, they built something the council never expected. Not a bomb, not a weapon, a message, proof that Zara, the one they called broken, could outthink their smartest minds, could rewrite systems, could command human tech. She wasn't dangerous because of rage. She was dangerous because of hope. One evening, while updating a defense grid, Zara paused. She looked out the window at Earth, glowing soft in the distance. You miss it? She asked. Kai nodded. Every day. Zara turned to him. I want to go there. He smiled. You will. Then her face changed. Serious. Not hiding. Not running. I want to walk on ground. Real ground. Where no one calls me a thing. Kai didn't say anything for a moment. Then gently placed a hand on her shoulder. You're not a thing. You never were. She looked at his hand, then at her own. I used to think I was a machine, she said. But now, I feel things. That means I am something more. Suddenly, the alarm blared. Incoming signal. Encrypted. Kai and Zara rushed to the console. Zara's fingers flew over the keys. Her spine lit brighter. Her nervous system now fully linked with the station interface. The message decrypted slowly, then appeared on screen. Subject Zara is alive. Elimination protocol initiated. Council vessel ETA. 48 hours. Kai cursed under his breath. Zara didn't speak. She simply turned and walked toward the control room. Let them come. Next 48 hours were war preparation. Zara built drones, fast and light. She reprogrammed defense satellites. She even hacked her own spinal software to unlock hidden tech her creators had buried deep. Code they feared she'd discover. Now she did. And used it. Her body wasn't just part machine anymore. It was part memory. Part evolution. A new kind of being. Not just alien. Not just machine. Not just survivor. Something human. Kai watched her work. You've changed, he said. Zara looked at him. No. I just stopped trying to be what they wanted. She activated a hologram, her final creation. A pulse emitter, powered by emotion-linked feedback. A weapon that only she could control, not by strength but by choice. Kai stared. What is it? Zara answered simply. It's my voice. And they will hear it. Far away, the council ship entered the system. Cold. Silent. Armed. But what it would face wasn't the broken girl it had thrown away. It was the one who learned to stand and fight back. The stars looked different now. Zara used to see them as prison bars. Cold. Distant. Unreachable. Now they looked like open doors. She stood at the edge of Echelon Station's outer dock, staring into the darkness where the council's warship had just entered orbit. It was huge. Dead gray. Unfeeling. Just like those who built it. But Zara wasn't afraid, because this time she had something they didn't. A name she chose, a voice that spoke, and someone who stood beside her. Hours earlier, the station had gone silent. The final phase of Zara's plan had begun. She moved like a conductor in her own orchestra, guiding drones, activating systems, linking her mind with the network. She didn't raise an army. She raised herself. Kai watched in silence, letting her lead. Are you ready? He asked softly. Zara turned to him, her face calm, steady. They wanted me silent. I will answer with sound. He nodded, proud. And when this is over, what will you do? She looked down at her hands, the same hands that once trembled in fear. I will live. The council's warship sent a final warning. Surrender the subject. Final offer. Zara answered, not with words. She sent her voice across their comms, using her new pulse weapon. Carried more than sound. Carried her truth. You left me in the dark. I built light. You called me defect. I became design. You called me machine. But I found my soul. The council paused. They had never heard her speak before. Not like this. Not with power. Then the battle began. Zara didn't fight with weapons alone. She used systems, logic, light, and rhythm. Her body synced with the station, her thoughts became code. Every move she made triggered waves of defense. The council's tech couldn't keep up. Their precision was no match for her unpredictability, a trait she learned from humans. One by one, their drones failed. Their controls broke. Their silence shattered. Inside the ship, the council's mask finally cracked. Not physically, but with doubt. She should not exist, one whispered. Another replied, she became what we feared. They tried to escape. Zara stopped them, not by destroying them, by locking their systems with a virus she designed, made from her own rejected neural code. She defeated them with the very thing they once erased. Back on the station, Kai stood beside her as the warship drifted away. Dead, disabled, defeated. He looked at her, stunned. You could leave now, he said. Go anywhere. Start fresh. Zara turned toward Earth. Glowing, alive, unfamiliar. I thought freedom was escape, she said. But now I know freedom is choosing where to stay. She turned to him, smiled softly. I choose here. Weeks later, Zara stood on Earth soil for the first time. Real ground beneath her feet. Wind against her skin. Sun on her face. Children stared. Not with fear, but with wonder. She waved. One little girl waved back. Kai stepped beside her. How does it feel? Zara closed her eyes. I used to dream of belonging. Then I stopped dreaming. Now, I live it. And somewhere far above, among the stars she used to fear, the silent memory of who she was slowly faded, leaving behind who she had become. Not machine, not mistake, not property, just Zara, free, alive, and chosen.